My name is Jenny Sayud. We are Ladies of Justice here on Wellness Wednesday, and we have a special treat today. We don't just have one speaker, we have two speakers. Discover your worth, to take ownership, build an inclusive and diverse community, elevate women as we climb, to create wealth and legacy, owning our seat at the table, and to integrate family as we do that. So that is what Ladies of Justice is about. And Wellness Wednesday turned into really us featuring women of any background, of any primarily it was supposed to be really based out of Hawaii, but it's turned into even our networks through Hawaii. That is how, like a lot of you might be thinking, how does Jenny find all these women? We're always open to finding speakers, but I know these next two speakers a lot better than I did 90 days ago, that's for sure. We're actually on a transformational program right now called Queen Bees with Biz Claire Koch, and some of you might know the name because we've promoted some of her calls. But she has been kind of like a mama bear to us three, along with two other women, right? Yes, with Ruth and Shirley, who Shirley we have featured. She's a nonprofit of Duke and, oh my goodness, the Duke and Alex DeRego Foundation. And then we are going to be featuring Ruth next week, so tune in for that. But really, Ali and Lonnie, they were for a time in our program workout partners, and they have similar backgrounds in what they do. I'm not going to steal the thunder from them, but I really wanted them to share the importance of being accountable, and similar to what we at Ladies of Justice call workout partners, but just having not just each other in this process of a 90-day run, but also this collective mastermind of a six collectively, including Biz Coach Claire. But I'm going to open up the floor. If you, Lonnie, want to just share your background, and then hand it over to Ali, and then she'll share her background, and then you guys can kind of tag team on the importance of accountability as we kind of move through.
All right, thanks, Jenny. Thank you, ladies. Hi, my name is Leilani Sullivan. My background, I born and raised in Hawaii, youngest of seven, so a typical Filipino family. My background actually started in accounting and IT. I forgot because I don't even think about IT anymore. So now I specialize in Medicare insurance. I started 3 years ago, and it's my passion to help seniors and people with disability who qualify for Medicare. And now we're looking forward to open enrollment. I can help people with their, helping them apply for extra help or whatever benefits they require, and explain to them, what their benefits are, because Medicare can be confusing, as Ali will also allude to, but that's what I do now, and then I'll go into what we've been doing in the 90-day program with Biz Coach Claire, who just joined, and that's my background. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Jenny, for asking us to be on here. I think I know pretty much all of you, except for maybe one or two. My name is Allison Macapagal, and I work for Bankers Life. I'm an insurance agent. I actually am licensed in both California and Hawaii. I grew up on the island of Oahu, and I was there till right after high school graduation. I did spend 13 years in California, came back, but my children went to college in California, planted themselves, had kids, bought homes, and now with the pandemic going on, they need to work. and they don't have any childcare. So here I am. A lot of people asked me, "Hey, did you move?" No, but I've been up here since April. So it's been such a I'm going to call it a blessing. And I'm so thankful that I was with the rest of the queen bees and Claire throughout the almost 90 days, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know where I would be today. But like Lonnie, my focus now is on helping seniors. I do, for the most part, Medicare, supplemental insurance, also do life insurance. I'm also licensed to do car and home insurance. But for me, I feel like I just found my passion when I started working with seniors. They're so grateful, you know, they get taken advantage of. And I just feel like one day I'm going to be there like in 10 years, and I'm just paying it forward. Hopefully someone will do the same thing for me when I get up there. Thanks.
Fantastic. Awesome. And again, this week is all about accountability. And so I'm just gonna kind of pose a couple questions onto the two, because in the month of June, Allison and Lonnie, we're accountability partners. And for some of us, accountability partners might not be a new concept, but when someone else is keeping you accountable to your accountability partner, it does stretch you a little bit differently. And that's a lot of what I've learned through just these less than 90 days, was that to be accountable to each other, yes, is one commitment, but to have someone help you know what accountability looks like is another level of leadership. And thank you, Claire, for teaching us that. And as we grow, I think we're all growing. But Ali and Lonnie, what were kind of like one or two of the things that you've learned in June about, you know, this different level of accountability as accountability partners, whether it came to our fitness or whether it came to your business or whether it came to just personal goals? What helped push you? What helped pulled you? You know, the saying that we're either pushed by pain or pulled by pleasure. And, you know, knowing that someone else knows that we have a goal, I feel like I'm more obligated to commit to myself when someone else is helping me do that. I don't know, was that the same for you?
So I'm going to check back a month ago, like in May. We weren't really assigned an accountability partner. But I did check in with Claire once in a while, or we would, you know, do our daily walks. But starting June, you know, we were assigned, so I had Ali as my partner, and the first day we're like, okay, this is our goal for the month, and this is what we're going to do every day when we report to each other, and this is, you know, so we set our goals the first couple of days, and then it became this, you know, daily routine where Ali would send me like this book of what she did for the day and, you know, her accomplishments for the week. And it was just amazing. And so it forced me to do the same. I'm like, oh, well, if she's reporting this much, I better do the same. And that forced me to, and it got to a point where it was my routine where, you know, I did my daily readings. I went walking almost every day and exercised every day. I ate better than how I did, you know, the month before. And I actually, you know, I achieved my goal for the month and then some. So it really helped because reporting or sending that text message to Ali every day, and now Jenny, it made me more responsible. I don't know if that makes sense, but to be on track. And then getting that report from Ali, it actually made me even better to, you know, reaching my goal for that week. Would you agree, Ali? And I don't want to say much more, but yeah.
No, you're right on point. When I found out that Lonnie was going to be my accountability partner, I was like, yay! Although I've only met Lonnie once in person, I just feel like I've known her forever. She's like the friend you feel like you just had for a lifetime, you know? And Lonnie and I, although we do the same business, there's so much more that she excels in where I was so glad to be partnered up with. For example, like my fitness. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get on it, you know? And with her doing her appointments for work, I didn't realize until I got here, because my life in Hawaii, it's just basically my husband and myself. It's so easy to plan things, to block out time. But up here, I'm always with kids. I'm always with other people. I'm going from a couch to a blow up bed to a regular bed and not having my bedroom. So it was, I really am so thankful, because if I didn't have Lonnie as my accountability partner, things like my fitness, things like being mindful to sit there and make those appointments for work, really would have fell off track. And one of the biggest goals I had for the month that her and I were accountability partners was to pay off a credit card that was sizable. And I remember every week having to report this $1,000 payment to her. And I was like, oh, but you know what? Like, when I paid it off, it felt so good. And had it not been to have an accountability partner, I would have been like, oh, I'll just do it later. I'll do it next week. Maybe I'll use some money for this. And so it's so important. And I wanted to read you guys something, because I was really thinking about the word accountability. And hold on, let me just pull it up really fast and read it to you. I felt like this is how I felt going through the process when we had to be accountability partners. Accountability empowers you to be in control of your actions in your personal and business life. You can create your own opportunities rather than passively allowing life to happen around you. Accountability is contagious and empowers others to reach for optimal success. And that's exactly how I felt being an accountability partner with Lonnie. Thank you, Lonnie.
Awesome. And you know what? As you guys are talking, I think accountability is the kind of thing where we hear distract your distractions. And not that circumstances don't happen to either of us or any of us, but when you're accountable to someone doing what you said you were going to do long after the moment of what you felt has passed, it's almost a good distraction away from circumstances to really make your why I shouldn't do it the reason why you should do it, right? And there might have been challenges that kept, because I know for me, I've had on and off days, like where I was like totally on top of it, and then I'm texting Lonnie like 2:00 in the morning. Oh my gosh, I forgot to send this to you, right? Or just shooting over a screenshot of my exercise or my walk or something. And something I know that I fell behind was any type of journaling. Like, even if it came to my devotional, like I would do it, but I'm like, oh, it's too late, I'm not gonna text, and then it's like 2 days and I forgot to text. And so what for you were some of your challenges, Allison? I'll go to Allison and then Lonnie after. That were distractions that were distracting you from the distraction of accountability, if that makes sense. Because I know you're traveling a lot right now too.
Yes, definitely the traveling, the children, not the children, but my grandchildren, just outside forces in general. And, Lonnie is like Wonder Woman, I call her that because it's like, I'll get this text at like 2:00 in the morning, like you said, Jenny, it's like, wow, she got it done. So, it just encourages me to be a better person, to push harder. And, there's so many different things. And, I learned through the transformation program not to let my excuses be my failure. So, thank you so much. But I'll give it over to you, Lonnie.
Thank you, Allie. Not quite Wonder Woman. I think Allie is actually the Wonder Woman, but we always encourage each other. I sometimes take care of my parents, and so there are times when I'm forgetting about what I need to do for the day. So I'm not calling my parents distractions, but sometimes unscheduled events or unscheduled times that I need to go there, it throws off my schedule, and so then it changes the way I do my daily tasks. And then of course work, we have scheduled meetings, we have people calling in, I have clients calling in, and I don't want to avoid any of those calls. So I have those distractions, but as like Ali said, there are excuses, but we try to overcome them. And having, Allie as my accountability partner, she pushed me to, like, come on, we can do it. We have so many days left for this month. Let's push for, let's achieve our goals. And so we had that. I know I sent text messages really late to Allie, so in the morning she probably got it, and she's like, "Wow, 2 o'clock in the morning." But so what? And like I said, it became a routine. For this month with Jenny as my accountability partner, I kind of feel, and I feel bad. I'm sorry, Jenny. There are times we kind of both would text later or even the next day, like what we did yesterday, and it was because we were so used to our routine that forgot about reporting the wins for the day. So it did become part of my routine. That's what I'm doing every day now. So it really helps to have that extra that person to push you that extra mile or that extra hour to do something. And thank you, Allie, for that.
And I know for me, with being accountable, there would be fears. Like, even though I've had so many accountabilities, like in different seasons, whether it was different 90-day runs, but like the fear of being exposed or not doing enough or anything. So, are there anything that, other than the encouragement that you were able to give each other, how are you guys able to get out of that route? Not that it ever necessarily may go away or immediately go away, but if we're in routine for certain things, what like kind of just got you and shook you out of like, no, I'm not gonna face the fear. I'm gonna move forward. Some things that helped you, and a lot of that could be self-talk. Yeah.
With my daily walks or exercise, for example, I do have a monitor that tracks my calories or my walks or how often or how long I stand. So if I don't meet that, it's like reminding me. It's like, Allie or Jenny telling me, "Hey, you didn't finish your walk today," or "Hey, you have 5 more calories to finish that whole circle." So that really helped me. And there are times when I before I wanted to report to Allie, like I wanted to make sure I met my goal for the day before I reported, "Hey, Allie, I walked for 30 days, and here's my proof." So to show the proof that I walked, the map of like where I walked and how many minutes I walked for, that was like me saying, "Hey, I did my the goal for the day." So that was like showing off to Allie, like, "Hey, Allie, what did you do?" So it was good. It was like that friendly, like, "Hey, I did this much today. What did you do today?" So that really helped me push to do it like on a daily basis. Not to be competitive. It was more of the, let's do this together.
Yeah, I so agree. One thing that I really appreciated what you did, Lonnie, was that when I was having those times where I felt stuck, is that you gave me options, right? You would say, "Hey, take the baby with you, increase tomorrow by 1 extra cup of water," things like that. So that in my mind, I'm like, this is feasible instead of feeling defeat. So, being an accountability partner, having that encouragement really, really helped me get out of many funks that I was in. There was a beginning part, there was maybe midway when we were accountability partners, but I can tell you in the end, it was like, wow, I'm so glad that you encouraged me and that you helped me come with, with options, because instead of saying, "Oh, just do it, tomorrow, you got tomorrow," you were like, "Hey, take the baby, maybe drink a little bit more water, just increase it by this much." And by doing those little steps, it helped me get over those little humps. So yeah, thank you.
So we're going to end off with a kind of a 2-part question. Number 1 is, what would you say to someone who maybe doesn't have or hasn't experienced an accountability partner, or maybe they're not currently using an accountability partner? And how has being accountable to someone affected your environment or even your family, in their observations of you knowing that you had to be accountable? So two parts. So advice, and then how your environment or people around you have changed through your accountability.
I really like what Lonnie did, the whole encouragement thing, and then giving the options really helped me. So when now I go out and I'm an accountability partner for somebody else, I really am going to learn from that and try to be that person going forward. Yeah, I think the biggest was my husband. So when he came here, I said, okay, when I wake up, the gratitudes, and this has got to happen. Everything was very more systematic. I am not a very organized person. So for him, seeing that, and, even now that he's back in Hawaii, I'm like, okay, we need to do this together, that together to stay connected to, and have accountability to each other. Yeah, it's spilling over to the home life. And even my kids are like, wow, you're different. You're normally, like just, oh, whatever, I'll do it tomorrow. But trying to be a person that gets things done while they can. So thankful that we did this on a daily basis and that we all have accountability partners. So thank you, Claire.
So if I were to tell someone who's new to this whole concept of having an accountability partner, I would choose someone who you trust, like, your sister or your boyfriend or your a best friend, and let them know, this is what I want to do, and if it's okay, can I text you what I'm going to do for the day, and this is what I want to do for every day, like, walk 10 minutes a day at least, and then maybe up it. But and if I don't text that day, if you could send me a text message saying, reminding me, hey, I didn't get your 10 minutes walk, something like that. So someone who's new to having this, maybe just having someone you trust, let them know that you want to text them on a daily basis or a weekly just to check in. That way they can report back or text you back and say, hey, you didn't finish your workout. You didn't drink 8 glasses of water today. And then it could evolve to something where both of you can do the same for each other. So that's what I would recommend. And for me, my boyfriend, because we live with each other, my fiance, he's in the last couple months of working out a lot, and I'm sleeping earlier, so that helps. That was part of my goal, is to sleep early so my day would start early. And he notices all of the changes. I'm eating better. I'm working out more in the past 2 months than in the past year or so. So that's huge for me, because your health is very important, which I've experienced in the past 2 months. I've had 2 aunties who passed away because of their health, and that kind of reminded me, like, your health is very important, and family and life is very important. So he notices that, and the fact that I'm reading a lot more devotions, and he's like surprised because he grew up in a Christian family. His dad was a pastor, so like when I'm opening up his readings, he's like, wow, that kind of like surprised him a little bit. So yeah, it's been a very, I would say, like, the past 2 months has transformed me a lot more than I can imagine. It's an amazing journey. So I'm glad to do it with these women. And Biz Coach Claire, she's the best.
Awesome. Well, ladies, thank you so much. I think just on the same sentiment, like, I'm going to do a couple shameless plugs of a couple things. So I was watching, if you haven't watched Down to Earth by Zac Efron on Netflix, he talks about, it's a series about sustainability and living better, and how lots of places in the world are doing things that, we might not know of or might not practice here in the US. And, they did a feature in the city that has the most centurions, the people that live up to over 100. And one of the main things that they do is like walk 3 times a day. And it wasn't run. I've been beating myself up. I haven't been jogging or running as much, but my husband does this intense beach workout a couple weeks or a couple days out of the week, and he's been trying to get me to do it, and I did it the other day, and it was just not my cup of tea. Like, swimming is not my strong point. But he was about to go yesterday, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And after I watched that episode, I was like, I'm going to go walk. And between walks, when I was at the beach, I brought my dog, and I was walking after my first mile. They weren't done. I was like, okay, I'm going to do some push-ups. I'm going to do some high knees. I'm going to do some lunges. And so I turned out to this really intense workout that I did by myself with my dog. And it was one of those things where, you know, all you need to do is just keep on moving. And knowing that someone like my husband, his workouts went from like not working out to very intense. And he credits it to because he saw me being so accountable to this thing that I was doing. And it did become a competition. I'm like, now he's doing better than me when it came to the fitness side. But I say that to say, just on the same sentiment as what Ali and Lonnie were sharing, is that if someone knows that you have a goal and you say it, instead of thinking of what if I can't do it, just be pushed on to know that you can do it, especially with someone who is supportive and helping you and doing it, you know, and just checking in with you on a daily basis. It helps that if they're doing it with you, but it's not necessarily a requirement. It's a start. But I thank you, ladies, for joining us today for Wellness Wednesday. I know it's kind of evolving to something different, but I love the creativity and whatnot. And Ruth, actually, we pre-recorded Ruth, so she'll be on next Wednesday, but we're just gonna play the video for her. And she has an amazing story as well. So tune in next Wednesday at 11. And us as Queen Bees, as we mentioned, this program with Biz Coach Claire, we are graduating in less than 2 weeks on the last day of the month, which is the last Friday. So not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I keep saying less than 2 weeks. Now it's almost a week. I mean, over a week. So I'm gonna be sending that and blasting out to our Ladies of Justice channel. If you're able to join us, it's noon on Friday for a Women's Power Hour on Biz Coach Claire's platform. I can get the details to you because there is limited seating, so we don't just want you to go just to go, but you know, we want you to receive. And we do have a keynote speaker and everything. We'll be sharing our speeches and all. So we hope to see you at noon, also on Friday, alongside a couple days after Wellness Wednesday. But if you're joining us and you're only hearing about Wellness Wednesday for the first time on the replay or here live, please check back with the person who invited you on this call. They can get you more about our services and opportunity here with Legal Shield and Ladies of Justice. And this really is a platform just so you can get to know the community, get to know the women, and get to know the heart of what we believe in whatever profession, whatever background, whatever business you do or organization you support. We want you to have a voice here on Wellness Wednesday. With that said, guys, thank you. Appreciate you all for chiming in. We'll see you next week, Wednesday at 11. Bye. Bye, Claire. Bye, Noreen. Bye, Michelle. Bye, Pamela. Bye, Faye. Bye, Auntie Sue. Bye, Lonnie. Bye, Ali.
Thank you. Bye, Jenny. Bye, Jenny. Mahalo. Mahalo, Ali and
Lonnie.
Bonnie.